Just take a look at Emerald Katong. 99% sold. But that one is the best already. I think I've not seen this for a very long time. Okay, but what happened is that on just across the street, there's this condo called Tembusu Grand. You see it? Tembusu Grand started selling about 1 year plus, 2 years ago, right? It only sold 53. Okay, but if location is the reason, how come Tembusu Grand at the same day, Emerald Katong sold 99%, Tembusu Grand only sold 83. So is it really all about location? So I'm going to show you a bit more of what happened last quarter, starting from November. Okay, just a show of hands. How many of us here went to Chuan Park Show Flat? Anyone? Chuan Park Show. What was the experience like? I think it was quite a last minute. They announced it's open for viewing. The queue from the door all the way to the traffic light and then the MRT, starting from there. I think I've never seen that before since what, 2000s, that time when it was really very hot, 2006, right? I think around that time. Okay, and what I noticed is that on the weekend, two condos actually launched. One was Chuan Park and one was Union Square. I think just now you all saw. But notice how come the disparity? The next week, wow, another new record, 1,500 homes. Just now remember how many new condos are sold every year? Anyone remember from Johnson? 8,000, right? So this one's really like, wow, one shot, 1,500. It's a lot. And what's more interesting is Emerald Katong 99% sold in 1 day. Wow, Singaporean got so much money. This is the truth. Okay, and then of course Nava Grove, another one, 65, Noble Place, EC, sells 57%. Then what happened after that? Then another one at Ori, the Toa Payoh. Anyone been this one? Okay, how was the experience? Very crowded. Suddenly everybody goes see show flat. But you notice before that, the first half of 2024, nobody goes see show flat. Suddenly everyone go and see what happened. And interestingly enough, Ori condo sold at 86% and 2007. Latest news, we heard already somebody bought the high floor at 3,000. 3,000. Last time 3,000 you can buy where? Like I say, Orchard Road can buy 3,000 already. Was that 3,000 at Toa Payoh? What happened? Interesting. Okay. And this was the last weekend. Last week. Anyone been to the show flat? Which one you went? Even more crowded. You went Park Town, is it? Park Town, right? You know what's shocking to me is that 1,000 units, just like that on day one. So why suddenly the interest? Very interesting. Why is the interest of Park Town and all that? And then but what happens is on the other end of Singapore, at Clementi, only 328 units sold compared to 1,000. Okay? So why I just show you this is very interesting. Based on this information you see, and also what John has shared, we do a poll again. How many of you think the market is very good now? Good, Okay, a bit more, Okay, how many of you still feel is bad? Or feel is bad? Nobody feel. So most people are still not good, not bad. Is it? Still the same thing. Okay. So one thing I want to discuss, why do you think is good about? Why I want to bring this out is this. I had a coffee with a friend recently. Then he was telling me, hey, Bernard, market is good. But you see, when some of the condos, only some places do very well, right? Like, maybe Chuan Park, Park Town. Why? Because I think location very good, right? Got integrated, everything, right? But the thing is this, Emerald Katong, 99% sold. But that one is the best already. I think I've not seen this for a very long time. Just across the street, there's this condo called Tembusu Grand. You see it? Tembusu Grand started selling about 1 year plus, 2 years ago. Only sold 53. If location is the reason, how come Tembusu Grand at the same day, Emerald Katong sold 99%, Tembusu Grand only sold 83. So is it really all about location? Right, something to think about. So I brought this up to my friend and said, maybe it's not location, maybe it's all about timing, right? Because Tembusu Grand launched way in front. Maybe affected their reputation, maybe affected people's perception of the development, right? It's a bit older. Then after I decided, why not we look at another one, which is also launched on the same day, Nava Grove. Next to it, there's this condo called Pine Tree Hill. Same thing, it was launched sometime back when Tembusu Grand was launched. On the opening, it sold only 29%. So by right, if timing is really the impact of it, by right, it should not do as well as Nava Grove. But notice that on the same day of Nava Grove launch, Pine Tree Hill already sold 75%, much more. Okay, so is it really about timing? Right? Just now John was saying, it's really to time the market, it's really timing. Then some of my friends also were saying to me, actually, very simple. Singapore is all about price one. So whichever condominium has the lowest price being launched, that one will sell very well, right? So we took a comparison. Noble Grand launch was about 2,000 per square. Okay, not too bad. It sold 84%. And then subsequently, Chuan Park came out, and then Toa Payoh people say, more and more expensive, right? So saying, by right, Chuan Park 2005 should sell less, which is true, right? Now it's only about 3%. Then when Ori come out, wow, even more expensive. By right, should sell even lesser. But is it true? Not really true, like 86% of total. But what I'm going to show you is that we took in all the units. You notice that actually Chuan Park sold the most number of units. So it's right in the middle. It's not the cheapest, so to speak. It's not the most expensive. So just to share, for Novo Grand, ever since its launch, until today, it has not sold another unit. So is it really about price? Is it price? Okay, so why am I sharing this with you is to let you know, in terms of condo or private housing, we actually go through this thing called a 25-star system, right? This is what our advisors go through. In the way we actually do a grading on all the factors that impacts a property, right? So just now John was mentioning, how come Union Square, same price, right? Or CCR, right? By right, good location, right? So in terms of it, but how come no one wants to go there? Everyone goes to Toa Payoh, the Ori. So a lot of factors are coming into the picture. This is one of the grading system that we do. So just to show you a few examples, right? So Novo Grand, this is how we do the grading, the size, schools, everything. So this is what we'll do for each of our clients when we look through and they ask us. But one of the interesting things I want to focus on is this thing called relative pricing. So when Novo Grand was launched, right, some of us were thinking, this one was a bit risky, because when we did a comparison of all the other condos in Woodlands area, what will you notice in terms of the average quantum? Much higher, right? It's about 600 plus, 700. Okay, but the quantum is 1,009, right? For a 3-bedroom, we don't talk about size, we talk about 3-bedroom. So why was this a risk when we do our analysis in terms of grading is that this price, 1,009, you notice is never tested price in Woodlands before. Okay, let me explain that. It also means to say, if today I want to move into Woodlands, right? And I look at I want to get a 3-bedroom. I see, no one actually sold 1,009 in this area before, right? So for me as a buyer, is that going to be a risk, right? So we see this as a potential risk. Now, Chuan Park, some of us say, wow, 2,005, so much more expensive than Novo Grand, correct? Then you look at the relative pricing. Okay, what do you observe here? So now do you have to answer why everyone go and chung Chuan Park? Why they want to queue from the show all the way to MRT station just to see? Why is this important? Because then you know, specifically is that this price for a 3-bedroom is been tested on over here, right? Of course, there are other factors, but what you notice is for someone, let's say for example, today I want to go and stay in Lorong Chuan, right? I'll be safe to say that, at least I know if next time I buy this price, next time I want to resell, the combination, is it a lot or okay, about there? Same, almost similar as me, right? In terms of quantum, right? Before that, Novo Grand was like, I don't know, all my competitors only 1.3 something. I sell myself 2.1, right? Do I have a chance now to compete with my neighbor? Okay, let's take the Ori, same thing. We're going through this. So Ori, one thing we look at again is competitiveness. Now, what do you observe in terms of the quantum? Much higher, right? 2.596, right? 2.596, right? Okay, so now that's the reason when you do a comparison, then you know the difference. Why is it that Chuan Park managed to sell so many more units per se as compared to the others? Okay, it comes down to this thing called relative pricing, right? Because this is one of the factors we put into consideration when we do the grading, but this is just to do a comparison for you to take a look, right? What we do in our assessment and advice to our clients. So you notice also for Novo Grand 12, why is it until today no other unit is sold compared to the other two, right? Because when buyers come in, they look, yes, it's cheaper per se, right, in terms of PSF, but in terms of competitiveness, you notice that Chuan Park is a bit better than the other two. My friends were asking me, how come the Emerald Katong and Tabusu Grand, the results so different? They're just opposite each other. And now we know EOK is a harmonization, Tabusu Grand is not. But after we factor this into account, you notice that the PSF is about the same. Okay, before that I asked, everyone know what is harmonization? Everyone don't know? Anyone don't know one? Don't know. Oh, don't know. Okay. So harmonization is a standardization between few government bodies, URA, SRA. Because they look at the floor plan, some say that, this is this size because they take into account aircon latch, some don't take into account aircon latch. So they say, okay, we standardize. Okay. So what happens is now, moving forward, the new land that's being bidded from the government land sales will be all but harmonized, meaning from now on, developer, when they build, they do not count in the aircon ledge. Okay, so Emerald Katong is post-harmonization. That's why you see from the floor plan, the aircon ledge is now called non-strata. Means when you see this size, maybe let's say 1,200 square feet, it does not include aircon ledge. For Tembusu Grand is pre-harmonization. So you know this aircon ledge, 6 square meter over here, is counted into the size of the property. Okay, so far okay? Yeah, okay, so good. Okay, so going forward, another thing you notice is how come Emerald Katong and Tembusu Grand, the layout is about the same, right? Yeah, except for, okay, Tembusu Grand a bit bigger living room. There's one more home shelter, right? Yeah, the rest is the same, right? Okay. So then the thing is this, the PSL about same, the layout was same, location was same. Why is it then Tembusu Grand perform much, not as good as Emerald Katong? Okay, let's check. Anyone? I make a guess. One of the things, of course, other than looking into the property itself, right, in terms of location, everything, one of the factors we also need to look at is this thing called the quantum. You notice that Emerald Katong is 2.5, Tembusu Grand is 2.8 million. So you're a family want to move into this area. If I cannot afford, then I go for the smaller one. So one thing that we look at is also is the buyer's affordability. In that case, right, now that we know a few things about what's going to happen, how we do a grading, and with 35 new launches this year, 2005, if any of you is looking to get a property, which one will you choose? So many. As I said, right, we all want to do a bit of a learning session. Right? Why don't we do an example? Let's take the one at Holland Drive, okay? So every one of us, very simple, why don't we do a grading ourselves, okay? So everyone take out your phone or you want to take out a notepad, look at all the factors, maybe you grade your star to it. Then you tell me, what do you think? Do you think Holland Drive is very high or low star? How many have 15 stars and above? Who has 14? 14, anyone? 13? 12? 12. Oh, okay. Maybe you can share a bit. What do you think was 12? This is what you'll notice. That one person can give 15 and one person can give 12 stars. Is it correct? Correct? That's observation, right? So what you're going to do, so just now John was saying about the workshop, right? So during the workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to show you what we advisors use to sort of standardize the point system, especially things when it comes to like future transformation. How do we determine what is a 3-star, what is a 2-star, what is a 1-star, right? And also in terms of relative pricing, we just shared with you. And also other things like, for example, surrounding amenities and shopping. What is the standard or things that we say that is 1-star or 2-star? Okay. So if you are interested, you can come to the workshop. I'm going to share a bit more on that later. Okay. Okay, bonus. Why don't you do one more, right? So how many of us want to do Zion Road? Anyone? Zion Road. We do one more, right? Zion Road or Margaret Drive? Zion Road? You hope you do Margaret Drive, huh? So let's do Margaret Drive, okay? Do your own calculation. Let me ask again. How many of us give more than 15? Oh, don't have. 14? 14. Okay. Maybe you can share a bit more. Why choose as 14? Okay, thanks. Anyone is 13? 12? Oh, the rest is 一文不值, is it? 一文不值, is it? Oh, cannot even be. Okay, so well, you may have your reasons, right? But again, I want to show the fact everyone has a bit of a different opinion when it comes to this, right? So yeah, so we want to be able to share with you on a more later date to the workshop, a bit more detail how we do it, right? Okay, so I talked about property workshop. So who is it for? Okay, two things we're going to do over there. The first thing is, of course, we're going to go through, like I said, right, we do a lot of financial calculations, right, to help with our clients, right? So if, let's say, if you are someone who are looking to buy a house, but you don't want to risk making any mistake in your own calculations for financials, for property sale purchase, this is for you, right? You can spend time, because it's going to be a very small setting. You can spend time to go through and review just to make sure that your numbers are correct. Okay, and also again, you want to know how insiders are with us, are grading the new projects for 2025, as well as for next year. And if you have any particular new project you're interested in, you want to know how we are grading it, you also come. Then we will do specifically for that project itself. Okay, we hope that the video has been useful for you so far. If you're currently looking for more information about the buying process, it is possible that you may have missed out some information because there are so many sources out there. So we have this home buyer readiness quiz, where within 3 minutes, you will know which area you need to do more research on. To take this quiz, you just need to scan this QR code here.